Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Friday the 31st of May. With McShane, we're working our way through the book of Revelation, today reading the second chapter, which is the beginning of the letters to the churches in Asia, the 7 churches. And each of them has a short little concise letter written to them. And I'm struck by the similarities in the letters. Each of them begin to the angel of the church of Ephesus or of Smyrna or of Pergamum or Thyatira write the following. And then Jesus, in this revelation, describes himself in different ways. He says to the Ephesians, he says, "These are the words of him who holds the 7 stars in his right hand and walks among the 7 gold lampstands." And each of the churches has a slightly different description of the person giving the revelation, which is clearly Jesus. And then he says, "I know your deeds, your hard work and your perseverance. I know that you cannot tolerate wicked people, that you have tested those who claim to be apostles but are not, and have found them false." And to each one of the churches, he says to them, "I know." To the church in Smyrna, he says, "I know your afflictions and your poverty, yet you are rich. I know about the slander of those who say they are Jews and are not." To Pergamum, he writes, "I know where you live," and he knows the context of their lives. The church in Thyatira, he says, "I know your deeds, your love and faith, your service and perseverance." And each one of those churches is dealt with differently. There's broad themes, overarching themes, but each of them is applied specifically to those individual churches according to their context, according to the people that are part of the church, according to what they've been through, all these different aspects of their locality that affects how God ministers to them and challenges them, the comfort he gives them and the exhortation. And in each of them he says, I know something about your situation. And as God looks at us, he is exactly the same. He looks and he says, "I know where you live. I know what you've done. I know where you've been. I know what people are saying about you. I know you." And so as I reach out to you and as I minister to you, as I challenge you and comfort you, as I encourage you and lead you, I know where you are and what you need. And so our prayer of thanks is to God, thank you that you know us, that you know what we're going through, that you know what our context is, and that you don't just deal with everybody in exactly the same way, but you deal with us in ways that are appropriate and right for our individual and specific contexts. And our prayer is that God will continue to deal with individuals in that way, but that he will deal with the church as well. He knows our context here at St.Luke, and we pray, God, deal with us, lead us, strengthen us, challenge us as is best for us. He knows the church around the country. He knows the needs of our country as well. And so we look to God who knows us, and we pray, God, lead us in your way. Help us hear. Help us follow. Glorify your name through us. Be blessed.